Go. What is it, 89?
Why'd that shut off?
Because we're not on that one yet. That's only when we're going to discuss stuff.
All right, guys, we're back. Episode 89, Cutler Cast in the house. Matt and I, and of course, the man,
Milos.
Let's see, the reporter. We're going to call you the reporter today. Welcome back to the podcast. We've been...
Call me analyst.
Yeah, you're a great analyst.
No, we're going to call you... You're like the TMZ of bodybuilding.
Hey, listen, come on.
You're an influencer.
How was Boston?
Boston's unbelievable. Listen.
I love it when you sent me the picture from by the seaport.
Yes,
You were like trying to model. You were trying to model, you told me.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, just
the weather didn't look so great, though.
Weather? It was good.
Yeah?
Nice, yeah. Nice. But listen, UFC 292, unbelievable event. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so unfortunately I gave you the wrong picks.
I picked two. No, I did. I had the girl, the Asian girl, and I had Gary.
Gary, yeah. But that
you
was,
didn't give me that pick.
Yeah, I did. I said Gary's going to win for sure.
Okay, I picked him, and then
it was minus 520. Like this guy is winning with the left arm.
I guess O'Malley shocked the world and pulled it together. And
yeah, I mean, I'm Aljo fan for sure. And do you see how well Aljo handled it?
Of course, he was very humble about it. But the question is, will they ever rematch? Is the question.
They have to come on. Actually, I don't know if he's going to stay in the same division. He might move up, but
he had trouble making weight.
He's deserving of a rematch. I just don't think it's going to happen. Because come on, he's quite dominant for quite some time, and he ran into the punch. This was
how packed was that place?
There was no. If you would throw the needle, it wouldn't land. This is how packed.
That doesn't sound like a place I'd want to be.
Come on, why not?
I don't like
so
people.
You're supposed to be a people person.
No, I'm not.
What time did you go in for the pre? I heard the prelims were really good.
Yeah,
also.
I went before the start. Of course, I had to warm up my seat, and this time I got my credentials. I got my Olympic gold medal.
What happened to Weidman's? What happened to his knee? Or
well, you see, after that tragic last time, breaking the leg. You would think that...
why wasn't he on the main card?
He was off for a year, so yeah. Former champion, you would think he was going to get that credit. But Tavares actually attacked his leg, which, in a fighting business, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to win. But then again, if you have some kind of camaraderie and consideration, beat him the other way. You don't have to... damage his leg.
So it just brought it right back, right?
Yeah, I mean, after the first round, he was hardly walking, and then Tavares keep pounding on. Which, you're supposed to win. So if I'm a coach, maybe I would. You see the weakness.
So is he done? Is he done now? Hard to come back after re-injuring, right?
He thinks that he wants to continue. Dana in post show interview. Thinks he should retire because if he's going to take another year to heal now this new injury, because it looks like it's quite beaten.
You know what I was thinking about? I was watching the YouTube playbacks of, where each fighter comes in, of major of the main cards, and they interview them on their thoughts and how come we don't do that in bodybuilding? Don't you think it would be nice the night of? To get a person's feedback of the top 5 or something.
It should be interesting, before and after.
I think the press conference that they do at the Olympia a couple days out. I don't know, man. I just think the press should be able to ask. That's what it's called, a press conference. So we talked about this, I think, last year, right? And I think that it should be open to media. And then I think there should be a follow-up. I know they do the next day seminar.
Yeah.
But I feel like your emotions and all that stuff, what's it like right after?
In every sport, you have reporters and spicing it up and marketing. And, that's what brings the interest. I would love to hear everything. I would on the way here, I ran into Nick Walker in Torture Gym. And say, I'm going to see Jay. Any messages? He says, yeah, I'm winning the Olympia. So these kind of things, right? Everybody should get involved and let's talk and make it interesting.
I have a random question for you.
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with anything. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about coaching UFC fighters just on their diet? Because obviously nutrition's a big part of staying healthy, making weight healthy. Have you ever thought of doing that?
No, and because they are very specific. Listen, they have to make the weight. They have to lose the water specifically, right? And then
but you're a master at that.
Yes, I would be feeling very comfortable doing it, but I don't want to stick my nose necessarily where maybe it doesn't belong. If anybody is doing it right, I don't want to say, let me help you.
But the question is, if somebody approaches you as you're more known in the industry saying, wait a minute, you know more about nutrition than
I would be very comfortable.
People. Yes, because I know Victor Conte, that's what he did for a long time, and I knew you years ago.
Yeah, I was involved with the Project for Record, and
it's just something to think about.
Nutritional advice, I was shocked how little did they know. The top track and field stars, how little they knew about nutrition.
Yeah.
And they were still, almost breaking the records and getting the medals. So if you just tweak around and give them right nutrients, then you can reach the next level and break the record. I don't know, but I've seen in fighting also that they don't follow really super strictly nutritional diet. Sometimes they just think of calories and
so we
Trifecta
Trifecta used to sponsor the UFC, and they have dietitians with master's degree on staff that would help get the fighters, if they wanted it, it was accessible to them to get their meals delivered and the food they needed and whatnot. But there's a difference between someone who's just a certified dietitian and someone who has experience dealing with high-level athletes.
Yeah,
because but it's something to think about.
Yeah, for us, it's appearance sport. On the stage, we're not going to do much except pose, of course. But for them, it's a performance sport. So you have to have endurance, strength, explosiveness, everything.
Even on that, it's a huge moneymaker because if a guy doesn't make weight, how many millions of dollars do they lose? Tens of millions.
Yeah.
So it's big business to make sure the guys are healthy, strong, and have the right nutrients.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I just didn't know if you ever thought of that.
No, I mean, they already have established coaches. So, if I was asked, of course, I would do it in a heartbeat because...
Could you get me in shape?
That's some. I already said this in the last podcast. God would not get you in shape.
Milos could get me in shape in 3 weeks. He would just put me on the Regan diet. Just eat lettuce and protein.
I'm such a dick, I have to say, because I surprise myself sometimes. I told Jay, my flight is delayed. Maybe I can go visit your mom and ask if she still thinks that you won 2007 Olympia. And I think, wow, who does that, right? And I'm just like,
dude, he's taking shots at your mom.
No, because I made that comment. Because some of the guys goes, oh, how can you say, that I didn't deserve to win? I said, listen, I go to the Jay Cutler's podcast and say that his mother would not give him the title. I said, why would I not tell you what I think?
You know what it is? People just don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear their own truth.
Okay, but let me correct myself. He actually deserved to win. I reviewed that 100 times over and said, you know what, he still deserved to win. So officially, I'm never going to say this again.
No, you already said.
It was just a joke.
Listen, you already said he was a stage decoration. You can never take that back. For Halloween, you should be a stage decoration.
This picture behind, you can bring like 5, 6 on the stage. And
it's kind of funny because when we were texting, we converse a lot through WhatsApp or whatever. So I'm like, damn, I was actually, when I got off the WhatsApp, you were like, I reviewed this and, I think you should have won and whatever. And I was just whatever about that. And I'm like, damn, did he study like tape all the way to Boston? Because that's a long flight.
Yeah. No, but listen, I'm a fan of the sport and I don't have a filter and I usually give my honest opinion. But then, did I really analyze that? Okay.
I mean, listen, what it could have, if they would have compared Wolf to me, maybe you would have saw her different, but they didn't put Wolf close enough. And so did Wolf get the right placing that year? No, what did he place?
But, okay, now that you open the can of worms, I'm going to tell you this is exactly what happened. No, really,
what did he get?
He placed 5th.
Because he couldn't make up the ground. They didn't notice him right enough, or
yeah, he plays fifth.
do you think he was too far in points and prejudging that he couldn't make it up?
Not even that. I mean, I'm not going to say there was conspiracy, but you explained to me this. He was well deserving of standing next to you and being compared, at least being compared. So
listen, in '99,
yeah,
I wanted to be compared to Ronnie Coleman.
No, but that's you wanted, but it was not realistic. Okay,
why wasn't it realistic?
Why? Don't you think in '99 I looked good though?
You did look good, yeah, of course.
Do you think you could have been compared to Ronnie Coleman?
No.
You were 10th.
I was 10th, you were 15th, right? That's the moment
that's what he's been waiting for.
No, but
hashtag I beat Jay Cutler. I'm using this all the time.
I want to put this on a shirt for you.
Yeah, make me a shirt. I mean, listen, you were in shape. You were great. This is what I'm saying. If they knew then what they know now, oh, that's Jay Cutler, and then if they really analyze you, they would probably give you favorite comparisons, and maybe you would move, God knows, in top 6.
You know what? You know, the way I look at it is this. Okay, 99, I'm 15 or 14, whatever it is.
15.
I moved to 8th, and I was better in 99 than I was in 2000. Okay.
Yeah.
In 2001, I could have won.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not sitting here saying I should have won. Like you said, you know, some guy was texting you saying, "Hey, this is Jay. Do you still think he should have won?" I was just saying, by the judges' scorecards, I should have won. Like it's almost impossible. If today someone won a prejudging by 6 points, if Hunter won the prejudging and Andrew came back and that was known 6-point spread, what would you think?
Well, they changed their minds, obviously.
Okay, but,
you know,
but that's,
because if you
You
remember,
can't change the points. Points
okay.
are scored.
So all the judges that maybe saw Jay winning, now they gave straight first place to Ronnie in the second round. And then I don't know by how many points he beat you, actually. Because
he beat me by 3.
3 points. Okay, so I don't know the points.
So he
but
made up 9 points to go ahead.
Obviously, few judges maybe had him winning after prejudging, and the majority had you. But then at the final show, they all gave it to him straight. And that's how he ended up winning. And that was like his posing routine, and I guess he went with the American flag and all this kind of stuff.
Illegal, by the way. No props allowed. Do you remember?
Yeah, exactly. Oops. You know, but anyway, yeah, everything is possible. But let me just get to the point that you brought. I trained Dennis Fall for this show, and I knew, I blow him up like crazy, 5,000 grams of carbs, all that, and create that illusion. If you remember, most muscular, he was dwarfing Ronnie at the time, which was unthinkable. He has a very wide structure, crazy leg sweep. It was tremendous. But he was never compared to you. So after the prejudging, and there was Albert Busek, the famous German international celebrity there, he was in the room, and I told him, listen, man, they're going to call you, you're top 6. You were on one side and he was another. I mean, he was number 1 and you were the last one. I said, what you're going to do as soon as you guys get on the stage, before Jimenian, has a chance to respond, you're going to walk and stand right next to Jay. Right there. He's going to probably tell you, go back in line and all this shit, but audience is going to see it and they're going to go wild. I said, you were never compared. Now you go there. And Albert Baca says, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't piss them off, right? I wish he did, because, again, audience, we want to see that. It's still, right now, we don't know what would be if he was standing right there. Could he beat you or not? But it would be interesting. No? Yeah, I say 2007, Jay Cutler deserves to win. I take all my previous BS and I change my mind.
So he's not a stage decoration?
Yeah, stamp.
He's a winner.
It was my worst victory ever.
Yeah?
Like worst for my mental state,
Yeah.
Because when you question that, you could have, in 06 people think, Ronnie could have, but majority people said, Jay won, right?
Yeah.
08 I lost.
Yeah.
09,
2006.
Yeah.
I mean, even, let's look at that. Back in those times, there was a 2-man show. It's you and Jay, you and Ronnie. Now it's different. I mean, in this Mr. Olympia,
there's 5 or 6 guys that could win.
6, 7, 8 people can win.
Yeah. I was doing a jaywalk with Dave Borlée this morning, and I was asking him, like, what's the best feel good era for you? And I think we decided on Dorian Yates, Kevin Levrone, Sean Ray, Cormier, Dillette, Flex Wheeler era.
Yeah.
That there's probably no.
That's my era.
Yes, you can't compare the lineup of, like we talked about, like Labrada and Gaspari and Haney, or even Arnold's era. Like who really? But how competitive that division was during that time, like the hell of a top 6, 7.
Yeah, and this is what I also want to bring.
Nasser, I left Nasser.
And Nasser was Lee Priest. There was so many guys. But just what you said, Kevin, Flex, Sean, right, and then Chris Cormier. Let's say
Dorian.
Dorian is
on his own. Yeah,
on his own. He won in most dominant era, right? In the golden era, he was most dominant.
Okay.
Jesus, and I probably never gave him as much credit as when you think about it. He beat Flex Wheeler and Kevin Levrone. I mean, and Sean Ray. And if you ask me who has a better physique, Dorian or these guys, I would say these guys have a better physique. Mm-hmm. But did he deserve to win? You know what? He did. So here comes the bodybuilding judging. Okay, I'm a fan of these physiques. Yes. But then when I analyze pose by pose, damn.
It's the craziest thing ever, right? It's like a catch-22. Like, it's like, if you put them on paper and spread them out, say, who has the best body in this lineup, you'd say this. But then once you see the show and you watch them compare pose to pose, Yates wins.
Because, this is how I started looking at Jesus Christ. I mean, I said a few times that, maybe I would give it to these guys, but how can you? 93 Flex Wheeler, I thought, that was the worst thing for a bodybuilding. They're giving to Dorian. It should be Flex, right? But then when you look at the actual comparisons, like, this pose, he smokes him. Like, oh shit. So Steve Anderger said that was, he said Dorian didn't look human. That's how good he looked in 93.
So we had like a crazy busy weekend. Mm-hmm. How was it in Vegas here? Because the whole world thought Vegas was going to get swept away.
I had planned originally to go to California, but I canceled last minute because I'm like, there's a potential hurricane coming, which, come to find out, Orange County didn't even get hit that bad.
They just got rain.
We got a lot of rain at my house. Like I said, you didn't miss much being on the East Coast, but I think, they were kind of prepared for a little more. Wasn't so bad. I know you were away. I didn't do a whole lot. It was my first weekend home in quite some time, and now we travel for the next 2 weekends, right? So
we fly to Romania in the morning.
Tomorrow, yeah. Okay. Let's make this official. This is going to be run on before Sunday, right? So this is going to be out before
tonight, right? Or
I'll put it out tomorrow morning.
My duty as a bodybuilding fan, speaking for influencer, speaking for all the fans in the world, we would want to see you guest pose longer than that 15 seconds front double biceps and most muscular shot. Come on, you're in shape. Give them a little show.
Yeah.
Milos just wants to see you with your clothes off.
Listen, give a credit, but credit is due. When you are Jay Cutler and you're 50, I mean, that's what I told you last time. Let's be honest. Do you think that you're going to ever have a chance to really pose? And you in tough condition.
I'm going to get better and better now.
Good. I hope so.
I know we were arguing last time, and Greg Doucette, shout out to our buddy Greg Doucette, did a big story on us,
I didn't see it.
He did a story on TRT and Milos's suggested dosage, like test levels and...
Yeah.
It should 20,000?
No.
I talked today to Dennis. He was on 450. I said that should be illegal. He should be 1,000.
That was $299 last I checked.
$299. Yeah, well,
You said I said it with 300 be okay, and you said yes for female.
Female, exactly.
And and Greg agrees with you. Like 1,000 is a roundabout number, but
1,000 is considered high normal.
Yeah, it is.
High normal, but listen,
I think 800's like 700, 800 is probably what would be
majority
a comfortable.
Of the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where's yours, Milos?
I never went under 1,000, nor do I plan to. You know,
What do you think mine's at right today?
yeah. Last time you were 2,800, but then you say it was.
I
not.
was not 2,800. Will you please tell him it was
You're at
2,000?
2,000.
It
Like
wasn't
80, not
okay.
2,000.
Show me. You know,
It's 2,080.
I am
80.
I,
Oh,
but
then
I,
maybe I moved
I
that
am
day.
getting a blood test done, which I will share with you.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's a
Don't
lot
share
lower.
it with him. He'll post it
Yeah,
online.
I know, but I don't care. I don't care.
Listen, then
I'm going to show that I did a 12-week stint. Okay, I really only did CC a week, honestly, half and half.
Yeah.
I just got to be careful
Is this
not to.
but CC can be 100 milligrams or 400
No, it's
milligrams.
200.
Depends. you
Not,
know.
not from legal pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's getting the Milos special, he can
I
do
don't know.
500.
CC is,
Well,
Brad.
what do they call it now? Super subs.
Super subs.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
they
but
call
that's
it
not
now.
real. That's made in some guy's garage.
But Dennis questions like, how did Jay said, okay, he feel completely normal on, off, but then how much did he had? 2,000? I said, no, he had 2,800.
No. Because, no, when I was saying that, but remember, when I come off cycle,
Yeah.
okay, if we took breaks through the year, I'm talking like full blast being professional bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You're still going to have some sort of
Some,
something in your system, right? Very rarely, although right after a show, not kidding, Milos, I was tested, I was 70 or whatever, right like a week after I came off for the show. Because remember, I didn't use testosterone the last weeks.
All the way to the show, yeah.
I would use like a Primo or whatever. You know, I didn't use any test, not Pro, not anything, right?
How long? 7 days?
No, weeks, like 6-8 weeks.
Wow.
So I've done it different ways. Not to say I've done it every way like that. Just
That's
when we
surprising.
talked about the AD 50, right? Mm-hmm. Like I did that for my last two Olympias, like 09, 10, like was that kind of dosage. I never did it before then because I was always afraid. I was holding too much water always. I had to figure out like the anti-E's, which I told you I didn't use for a lot of the shows. But when we cycled off for 12 weeks, 20 weeks, of course there's still going to be stuff in our system, right? Yeah. Like when we say off, meaning like I'm just not taking anything at that point.
Yeah, but you still went through the PCT protocol. You had ACG.
I didn't. Not every show. No, not some, but not every time.
Really?
Not every time. So shame on me. But this is what I did. I'm honest about it. Why would I lie? And I'm not I'm not sitting here telling society, this is what you need to do. Remember, this is a podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm just explaining these are my situational things, not suggestions.
It's not advice
or anything like that. I'm just being honest and telling people like every time. I don't have a journal like yours, dude. And I don't like, okay, this is what I took. Yeah. I don't have all that. And every time it was dependent on what was available and how my body was reactive. If I felt I didn't need a certain this or that, I didn't do it.
But that's priceless. I mean, this is 4 times Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler, sharing his experiences. I love it. I mean, for me, any piece of information you give me, like I'm inhaling it. I love it. So I'm surprised that you didn't do PCT every time. I mean, I would consider that's mandatory, to take care of, off cycle, to bring back your endogenous testosterone so you're not to crash. I mean, this is what I did every time. I'm surprised you were with Chris that he didn't, and you were young. So
he never advised me on that side.
On that side, really.
It's just different.
Well, look, it worked perfectly for you. So
maybe at the end of the day, everyone's different. Yeah. Everyone's bodies respond different.
Yeah, but Dennis James said the same thing. Like, I'm like Jay. He didn't see the much difference on and off. Yeah. And I said, well, to be honest, when I was completely off, I didn't feel like I needed it. And there was like 3 years that I was off. And I couldn't say that I suffered anything in any possible way. But then once I started putting it back in, then I realized, oh, shit, I do feel different. I do feel stronger and everything else that comes with it.
Here I am, I finished the 12 weeks, right? And for 12 weeks, I was on 6 meals. I trained consistent. I started cardio again. Ask me how I do feel better at 232 than I did at 245. Like, meaning I feel more energetic. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a side. But at the same time, like if you said, well, how do you feel in the gym? Are you stronger? No, I don't do any more weights.
Yeah.
I recover. I feel the same. My appetite is definitely
Increased.
way more now because I feel 90 minutes of cardio a day is a lot, right?
I don't know.
Is it necessary? I mean, you wouldn't know. Yeah,
I wouldn't
exactly.
know. Last time I did cardio was
But like,
90.
I feel like, I did splurge a little bit and start eating like some sweets and stuff last week, and it was hard to stop, to be honest. So I know I've been dieting for a while.
Once you start, it's no turning back.
But I want to stay on this path now, and I want to continue. My goal is to get shoulders.
Yeah.
I would love to get shoulders again.
Synthol.
I'm kidding.
Don't say that to him.
Insulin pump.
I know. I mean, maybe that's, I don't know. Just, I want to try. I want to try getting
Giant
shoulders.
sets for shoulders, Jay and I on insulin pump. Let's see what happens. When you come back from Romania.
He'll turn into a diabetic coma and he'll pass out.
Because he's known for shoulders. Listen, I do remember stepping on the stage in 99 Ironman and looking at Jay and shit, like the shoulders like go from California to Mexico.
24 years old, yeah.
It's like, and it's around and all this. And any which way he moves, it's like from the side you were just as wide as from the front. And this is, now when I look at your physique and say, those arms are stupid, right? Your chest and abs and legs are downsized but still shredded, and everything is there, right? Shoulders is the most visible thing that they went. But shoulders, you don't have injuries, right? So I would just pump them up like crazy. Giant sets, front side, the rear
You still
delt.
got shoulders?
Not really. I mean,
Matt says his shoulders are really wide.
They once were, now they're not.
Yeah.
He don't even weight train anymore. Do you know that?
I have twice this month. My shoulder hurts too bad.
Yeah.
It's like excruciatingly painful.
Yeah.
You should motivate him to do something with himself.
Look at the structure. I mean, he's mesomorphic. You're mesoendomorph. Okay, you can put fat, but you can put muscle like crazy.
I know, but he's still on 750,
Yeah?
God.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's why my test is at 299. Because look, I do TRT, but sometimes I forget for 2-3 weeks. I just don't care.
Honestly, if you do this like once a week shot, you can forget about this week, and then you realize 2 weeks later, if you do
sometimes you're like, shit, did I take it last week?
If you do every 3 days religiously, smaller dosage, that would be ideally just pain in the ass.
I want to go down to Colombia and get stem cells
Yeah,
in my shoulder.
me too.
I think it would help.
When
I want to in October, November.
When are you able to start training again after this therapy? And
I should start now, but honestly, after this epidural shot in my spine, and there was zero pain for a while. Now I still occasionally feel my foot is numb and my lower back hurts. Like, but I didn't start training. I do want to start training.
We should go to Colombia and have them put stem cells in your spine.
Dennis James did the treatment, and he swears by it. He says,
this weekend I was in Colorado for Brian Shaw's Shaw Classic, Strongest Man on Earth. It was his last show. And there's a bunch of strongmen that had serious injuries, and almost all of them went down to Colombia and got stem cells, and every single one of them said it changed everything and they're right back to normal. Pain gone. Like one of the guys tore his lat off, literally off. They had to put it back on.
Hold on. Nick Best
tore it off. But Nick, when he went down there, he had his shoulders done, his knees, his spine, his neck, his elbows, his wrists, and like 100 million units.
Have you seen that tear?
Yeah.
Flat tear. I mean, it's terrifying.
They put it completely back on.
Yeah.
But he's back to doing 800-pound deadlifts.
I know. I saw him at the Apex, and he said the same thing.
But there's a couple other guys.
He showed me the
that
video,
swear by
and I'm terrified. I mean, now when you do the bend over anything, rows or deadlifts, it's just like I could see it just snap. Like, oh.
So I want to go there because my shoulder was, the labrum tore 359 degrees. So they had to move my biceps tendon over. Yeah. They had to put 6 anchors in. And the surgeon told me I'll never have full range of motion because they had to put it in so tight. But whatever happened in the last 2 months, it triggered it, and it feels like excruciatingly painful. Sometimes even doing this hurts. So,
but you can still bench 405, huh?
Yeah, right.
No,
not right now. Sure.
I thought you could.
But no, when I was there, like just talking about it, this was Brian's last show, and it went from the Shaw Classic, went from something he put on in his home gym to give the guys an opportunity to make money. He put all the money up. He kept nothing from it. He donated. If he won, he donated to all the other guys. And now it's turned into, it's at a major arena. sold out.
Yeah.
Expo, all the top guys in the world, major sponsors, and it turned into this massive event that I hope the bodybuilding community supports soon.
I think Brian Shaw is equivalent to Jay Cutler.
He is.
Popularity. I mean,
Yes.
you said that moment when all these strongmen were there and crying
Yeah.
as he's retiring. I mean, that's going to be a huge event. Strongest man on earth.
So yeah, he bought the trademark for Strongest Man on Earth, and now his show's The Strongest Man on Earth.
Yeah.
So what he did was, it seemed, and I don't follow strongman like other people do, but it seems like the weights in the World's Strongest Man keep getting lighter, so the guys can run faster. So it seems like more a speed than strength competition. Yeah. So his event, everything was heavier than the World's Strongest Man. So he said, I'm going to have my show, The Strongest Man on Earth, and whoever gets through this will be the strongest man on earth. And it was his final show, and he won.
And I've seen that last event. He was picking up 600 pounds.
550 up the steps, and then 600 pounds all the way up the steps. Yeah.
Take 600 pounds on the stairs.
But you got to remember, that's 600 pounds.
He's the only one that did it, right?
Yes. Now, here's the other thing. That's 600 pounds, but that's the 8th event in 2 days and the last event of the day.
Yeah.
So you have to go through all this for 2 days, beat up, and he tweaked his pec doing this bench press where it got up. He was the only one that got up to 600 pounds, and he did it twice. And he tweaked his pec, and he still got through it. At the very end, the last thing you do is 600 pounds up steps. And for him to win, it was just cool. But I've said this to Jay for years, Brian is equivalent to Jay in the bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
And I've wanted them to do some stuff together for years, and I'm sure we will. I mean, we put him on this podcast almost 2 years ago, and it's the most watched podcast we have. Yeah. He's that popular.
How can you not love Brian? I mean, well,
it was a cool thing. But we also had a big showdown this weekend in Texas, something that you've been wanting to talk about forever.
Yeah, I mean, listen, going into the show, we were analyzing what is going to happen. Hunter Labrada brought it to Florida, right? He won that show, fairly easily. It was, I would say, not contested as good as John De La Rosa was. It was really no contest. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the new qualities in Hunter's physique that could possibly challenge this wonder of Andrew Jack that we established after his pro debut. We talked about it. You said you see him as Mr. Olympia winner. And Steve Weinberger, seeing him first time at Dragon's Lair, first words after he took the clothes off is like Mr. Olympia. So that's the potential. We all appreciate that. Wow, look, just standing there is like Jesus Christ. But going into the show, if you remember in the last podcast, I said, well, Hunter can beat him in some poses. And then we analyzed, and we can analyze now. I still think that Hunter beat him from a back, but not as convincingly as I thought it would be, right? But we can go pose by pose.
You want to go pose by pose? All right.
Okay. But before we start, I'm just going to say this. I was in a fit club with right after the last podcast. Remember, Regan was doing your leg training, so we went there to see him. On the way out, Gavin, the owner, goes like, "Hey, Milos, can you rate my physique?" I said, "Okay, what do you mean?" So he's going to show me the video. I said, I didn't even know that he trains. And then he showed me this one, and he's like classic physique and looks like, oh, this guy can be a pro, right? Look at those abs, like better than mine, like Jesus Christ. And then, by the time he turned around and you see 55 muscles on the back, I realized it's that application that enhances you and you look like a plastic,
I haven't seen that. It's funny.
It's
crazy.
What's funny? It's crazy.
Gavin's feelings are really going to be hurt now when he said, I didn't even know he trained.
I mean, I didn't know that he was competitive. Or it looked like that. Him. And then I realized. So let me tell you, when I've seen some of the video footage from Andrew Jack, I thought, is this that application? Because this doesn't even look real. I mean, seriously, he had that quality. The skin and the separation and tie-ins and striations, like holy shit, is this real?
So I'm gonna push play and we'll just start going through and I'll
okay,
pause.
Right here.
So this is just a front relax. You want to say anything here?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Please. If you have time, I want to deeply analyze this because new released on Instagram, Tyler Mannion put the rules, and anybody should go there and listen to the rules, how he sees relaxed pose, and in each pose what they're looking for. So what would you look in a relaxed pose? This is the first impression you leave on the judges. You know, you have to be X-frame, V-taper, aesthetics, balance, nothing missing, right? Structurally, you know, here. And then, like that's what I say, it's turn off the light and just see the silhouettes.
Yes.
And in this moment, right, Labrada can hold on his own big time. He is just as wide and V-tapered and everything is happening. But when you turn the lights on, and now you see the conditioning and muscle quality, density, hardness, you know, depth of that separation. Here, he is a wow. You know, the Andrew Jack wins this, I think, hands down. It's maybe not a good word to say, but yeah, your eyes are drawn to him. And now, is he more V-taper? No, I mean, Hunter is very comparable, but Andrew
what do you think,
wins.
Jay?
I mean, Andrew looks great here.
All right, we'll get into the first pose.
Yeah, step right there.
Right.
It's again, Hunter has everything. He has all the elements that Tyler Mannion is saying. Peaked biceps, V-tapered, you know, sweeping thighs, separation, all that. But look at Andrew. This is, you know, everybody says like a statue, but it is really, I mean, that quality, depth of the abs. Look at the obliques going in, quadricep separation. Okay, he still needs bigger quadriceps, I think, bigger legs, because we've seen at the Arnold Classic when he was standing next to Samson overwhelmed him there.
Yeah.
So it's still, but when you just look at the shape, and if he's alone, or he is alone just next to Hunter, or if he is now next to Samson and everybody else, that's when you can, you know, compare it. But shape cannot be better. Conditioning also, I would say, cannot be better from the front. This is as good as it gets. Flatness of the stomach, depth of the abs, flaring of the lats, peak of the bicep. It's just outstanding.
What do you, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, how can I say this? A lot of detail. I still see Hunter of more of a mass bodybuilder in this pose. Does that make sense?
Per square inch, pound for pound, yeah, this kind of thing. You know, it could be little bigger, like I said, for the height.
You know, the reason I say this is, like, when you think of front double bicep, like, I look at what everyone's hit a front double bicep. I think from Lee Haney to Ronnie Coleman to Dorian to, it's straight on double bicep. I know Andrew has this like lean and this tilt, right?
Yeah. Roden used to do that too.
Yeah, so it shows the abs, and I mean, if you're looking at that kind of thing, like, a lot of detail, right? Yeah. But for some reason, I can see Hunter's side of, like, this is a power shot, right? Where Andrew's, I would say, is more pretty, but it's not the standard front double bicep. Does that make sense? It
makes perfect sense. And now that I'm sure that the judges are listening to our podcast, and this is good debate. Tyler went pose by pose and mentioned how he expects you to do the pose and what they look in this pose. So front double biceps, you know, they're looking for extreme V-taper, right? So would he have a bigger V-taper if he would flare the lats
if
like Lee Haney?
If he stood straight on, I've never seen Andrew hit a straight on front double bicep, so I'm curious to see how it would look.
But for me, again, I involve the abs in the front double biceps pose because
I don't.
Yeah, I know. But for me, I see I don't lose much on the width, and I have all this detail. It's center of the body. Who cannot possibly love this abs on Andrew Jack in this pose? I mean, it's so catchy. I love it. So I would not even tell him to change because I just absolutely love this pose. But if it's judging standard, they expect you to hit some pose certain way. I want to mention this one. when they call the pose, everybody should hit the pose the way they expected, for example, for a extended period of time. I said 5 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds. I don't know, 10 seconds minimum, right? And then you can maybe have your alternate and do your secondary version of that mandatory pose. Maybe. Because you want to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Like, especially in the side triceps pose, when you're going to come to it, when people turn to the front, you can't compare front triceps and side triceps, right? So first you have to establish, let's compare it, and then maybe you can bring some other attributes of your physique that you have. But for me, okay, you still think that Hunter can beat Andrew in this pose? For me, no way, no how, hands down. This is too much shape, too much everything. It's a standout. Labrada not missing anything. Crazy arms, all that stuff, but it's not that pretty. It's this is still Andrew.
It just looks like Labrada went up against a really, really good front double there. So he doesn't. In any other show, he would win the shot.
Yeah, and it's not like it's completely smoking him or anything, and that's a weakness of Labrada. I know that's the strength of Labrada here, but I still think that Andrew was dominant. And last spread here. Okay. Boom, stop right there. In the last podcast with you, I said that I can see Hunter possibly beating him in this one, because in Florida, from whatever angle that I was seeing, the V taper was going just crazy, like more pronounced than it would be on Andrew Jack, but not here, definitely. So
I don't know if anyone can beat Andrew Jack
in this pose. Yeah,
he may have the best front lat spread in the world.
Yeah, but here, legs are good. It's still, for that height, needs more mass. For me, if you now think, Jay, how you were beating Chris Cormier and Kevin Lebroni and those guys, right? It's just sheer size. It's still open show. I do say this. I want a classic open. I want a classic physiques, shapes, with enough muscle mass to compete in open. And he is a perfect example. Upper body is thing of beauty. Those abs don't even look real. That looks like that application applied, So a lot of people, when they do the front lat spread, they turn around and they lose the shoulders, right? They expand too much. He doesn't. So you can see triceps, brachialis, hanging biceps, lats. This is state of the art. Andrew Jack does this so good. Labrada is very, very good in this pose. Maybe you got him in a moment that he was not at his best. You can try to find better Labrada. That's about it. You see now, cameras are straight on, so probably doesn't leave that effect like judges are looking from a down. From a down, Hunter also have a crazy V-taper. And again, great pose for Hunter, but it's still losing to Andrew. And I want to mention this. Hunter's legs are great. And I know going into the show, watching Hunter's legs for months, he has a size, he has separation, he has a shape, everything else. But here it looked like kind of beat up. It looked like maybe over cardio, maybe a few things in peaking. They don't look popping, exploding. It looked a little drained. Separation is still there, but size is not. So if you think that Andrew doesn't have enough size on the quads to be Mr. Olympia winner yet, hypothetically speaking, maybe he is. His legs are bigger than Hunter's.
Yeah, I think he really tried to get in condition for this, and he knew he was coming up against, potentially his hardest competition yet. That was Andrew. So I think, his condition is great. But remember, it's all who you're standing next to also.
Yeah.
So, was he better than Tampa is the question.
I don't think it was better, but it was pretty similar. So here is also the pose that last time on the podcast I said that I can see Hunter beating him. And I was saying that Andrew has a better chest, definitely. but the way he hits the pose before, Andrew didn't look so thick and dominant, right?
It does here.
Yeah, it does here now. But if you remember, even the side chest on the Arnold Classic, you could see shape is there. He has a muscle, but just overall impact was not there. And like I said, that Hunter would beat him in frontal biceps by your standards, pound for pound. Like he still looks like he has a more muscle for his frame. On a side chest pose, going into the show, I thought that Hunter's going to have a more thickness, a more hamstring pop, and that. But Andrew surprised me. So this is super competitive. Okay, I still like Andrew in this pose as well. He brought a little bit separation, that hamstring glute. Hamstring is a little thicker. I think it's very much improved the Andrew Jack side chest pose. So who would I give that pose? I would still go with Andrew, but if judges would give to Hunter, I would have no issue.
Anything, Jay?
No.
No, I just asked.
So you think who wins?
Andrews.
Andrew.
He's fixed his pose.
Yeah, fixed the pose. Up, step. Yeah. Well,
Still would like to see Andrew tighter in the lower half here.
So a lower half, there's no question that Hunter just dominates him. If you just cover the upper body and look at the lower body,
even though
he wins.
The back is still there's a lot of crisp detail there.
Hunter Labrada is devastatingly good in this pose, and
He's improved a lot.
I would give him this pose, no question. But Andrew improved since the Arnold Classic, especially the way he was hitting it. I do remember he leaning too much into it, and it just didn't look good. Now look at the biceps peaking, look at triceps hanging, look at the detail on the upper back. It's tremendous. Then leg look huge, and I've seen this with Max Charles. Max Charles, when he hits this pose from the back, you think he has the hugest legs, but from the front you don't have that same effect. So Andrew's legs are huge here, but not detailed. Hunter has striated glutes, tie-in, hamstring.
I think if Andrew was crazy detailed in the lower portion, how big would those legs look?
Yeah, it would look ridiculous.
Insane, right?
It would look ridiculous, yeah. So Hunter wins this pose, but not by a large margin. Plus, I've seen some video footage when it was like hands down Hunter, but then I've seen a couple of them that, Andrew is holding.
And you know what I've noticed from this? Some of the other pictures I've seen, Andrew looked more detailed. I think this is just a bad angle. He wasn't as conditioned as Hunter. He wasn't, but it looked better from different angles. It looked like his glute tie-in is in. He just needs to get a little bit tighter.
Yeah. And here you can argue the same thing, that Hunter looks like he had more muscle per square inch. Okay. Again, I would give this to Hunter. It's more prominent V-taper, right? It's like more lats to waist ratio. And hamstring glutes. Yeah, so even though, like, how can you go against Andrew? But listen, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And here with all the attributes that he have, and I love his physique, I still think that he lost this pose. Like I would say, flex filler Kevin Levroni against Dorian. Well, then I would give to Dorian, even though I like someone who has physique better. This pose, Hunter beats Andrew in my book.
What do you think, Jay?
Okay. So here is 1 second side triceps, not even 1 second. Okay. So stay to the front. Okay, freeze this. Andrew looked crazy in this version, but this is not side triceps. And Tyler Mannion talked about this, and maybe this should somehow inform the competitors going into the Olympia and all the other shows. We call the pose, you hit the pose that we called. And then whatever extended period of time, then you can turn around and show us, other versions that you have. But first has to be side triceps. So how do we judge this pose right now? Okay, this is
They're both hitting something different.
Yeah, hitting different. So you don't supposed to see the quads in a side triceps pose, and quads are popping in Andrew's way of doing it. Andrew would. So now imagine this upper body, and he just lower body. He turns to the side. He would look just as good. He just something that he probably didn't practice long enough, and they told him he looked great here. Everybody is doing it recently in so many shows. Everybody turns around. I was turning around. But after I hit my side triceps for like 10 seconds, then I turn, show them the other versions. So this is debatable. Hunter's probably the best pose is side triceps, or maybe back down biceps. I have to reconsider this. Hunter looks crazy in this pose, okay? And now I shouldn't judge for Andrew because he didn't hit the side tricep. So I could give this to Hunter.
Yeah, I'm glad he went back to this kind of side tricep.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter did, right? Because normally he does the one leg out, right?
Okay, so now this is front triceps. Now it's comparable pose. They're both hitting in the same way. So it would be wonderful if you can see side triceps first and then this one. I'm calling for more mandatory poses. As you're not going to judge the posing round, at least give them a chance to hit more. So. Maybe 2 versions of each mandatory pose. Okay, here. Oh.
Yeah, Andrew all day here.
Yeah, and this before they even hit the pose, that's going to be the case because he has most perfect abs, so he cannot lose this even if he tries. Look at that intercostal serratus and then lats popping out. Flex Wheeler was wonderful, right? Bodybuilder. But watch him in an ab and thigh shot. His lats disappear and will be straight down. Right? That's crazy abs, crazy legs, arms, but he didn't have that. And Andrew Jack has it. So you have a V-taper into the super flat abs, stomach, super deep abs, intercostal serratus, and legs. Most muscular, okay. They're hitting the same one, which is great. Oh. Yeah. Same thing that Jay mentioned. Maybe pound for pound for his height. Maybe Hunter looks possibly even out-muscle him. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I would give this to Andrew Jack again all day because it's just too much.
Do you remember we discussed tie-ins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at Andrew's tie-ins.
Yeah. It's just too polished. I mean, when you see this straight the chest, and Hunter doesn't have it. Abs.
I think I'm thinking about it. Who else has striated chests like that in the top 10? Hadi.
Oh, Hadi has a
Hadi, but who else?
Hadi has a more than
he does, but who else after Hadi?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on that with Samson to improve because he has a crazy thickness. I mean, Samson's chest, maybe people don't analyze, but it's the thickest chest in bodybuilding
for sure.
So he needs more detail. Yeah, this is excellent. You see, he doesn't look so good in both hands in front. I don't know why. I would think when he closes, you see when there are holes and gaps, we know that in the side chest, if there is a hole here, you don't look as thick. So in most muscular, also when you bring the arms and stick the elbows out, and you cover more space, you look more muscular. That's called most muscular pose. This is kind of aesthetic version of a most muscular, which I'm not against it. But again, each pose calls for something. This should be density, hardness, more muscle in the most muscular. Even Tyler Mannion was talking about 3 different versions. One that you show the traps, the crab most muscular. So he encouraged them to do all. See, this is how I would like, hit all 3.
So after seeing this here, do you expect Andrew to be in the first call-out at the Olympia?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, today, Dennis James says, like, well, with all this, he asked, is this the best Andrew? I said, absolutely. I think that's the best Andrew we've ever seen. Possibly best hunter we've ever seen. Maybe Florida was slightly better. He says there was only 1 point difference. Okay? So this puts things in perspective. It's only 1 point difference. So maybe judges still expect more mass from Andrew to be competitive at the Olympia.
Did you see it as a 1 point difference?
No, I didn't. For me, for me, I said initially, hands down. It's not like, he was so dominating, and Hunter was not good. Hunter was excellent to Hunter's potential. This is Andrew's potential that really is wow. Mr. Olympia.
In the making.
In the making, yeah.
What do you think?
One of those. Yeah, of course. I believe that Samson and I have a project, Mr. Olympia, with Regan as well. That once they're all similar size, then and similar condition, then you can see who is better. But that's the future of bodybuilding.
What do you think of the Andrew show?
He's definitely improved. I still think he's, a percent off his best. I'd like to lock him up in a house and train him for 12 weeks. We make sure he's 100%. I feel like the more you work him, I don't think he can overtrain himself, if that makes sense. I think if
he trains really heavy too.
I think if he just stays on track, I mean, we could see him winning the Mr. Olympia. I don't know. Last year I talked about potentially him walking in and winning his first. Was it last year or the year before?
Last year.
First Olympia.
This is his second year competing.
Yeah, so I don't know if I feel that way now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think potential-wise he has it, but
he's got some work to do.
Now I've seen him, I saw him in England, and then the Olympia was sick, right? Mm-hmm. And now we've seen him here, which I didn't expect him to be 100. Yeah, Arnold Classic. Yeah. So now, of course, seeing him, like, I don't know what to expect, meaning has he improved? Yes, but like I'm more impressed with what Samson's done from the time that Regan beat him to now, like size-wise, but I'd like to see the same thing. I want to see him in condition at his potential. I want to see him in condition at his potential. It seems like all these guys have this crazy structure and this crazy, muscle flow and everything else, but I don't see them as crisp as they could. Like, they're just a smidgen away. Like, you put him in Ronnie Coleman type condition, which we don't know if he's even able to get that way, or put a Samson where you see crazy lines in the hamstrings and stuff. Show's over.
Yeah.
Like, how do you beat these guys?
If they are conditioned, you don't beat them.
I mean, we're talking about Derek potentially and Hottie repeating, and Nick Walker saying he's going to win, but like, you can't beat those tie-ins in detail. And I think Samson has enough muscle to kind of have the same kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. Like, the hell of a lineup. I mean, the comparison is like, bring those two as the top. Like, bring them out together alone.
But you were at the Arnold Classic, right? And you were asking me, we were texting before the even show, like,
listen, he could have won the Arnold. Andrew could have won. Yeah. No one would have been, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If he would have won, people wouldn't have been upset.
If Nick would have won, people wouldn't have been upset. Samson won, people were upset, people were loving it, right?
He could, listen, there is not sure in, you're going to go in and just going to win the show. You were saying that Andrew Jack has a striated glutes and he's winning the show right before the show. When they step on the stage, I appreciate his shape. Look how much compliments I gave it to him. I love Andrew Jack. Yeah. Since the first moment I saw him, I was like, Jesus, this guy is unbelievable. But then, without being a bias coach, when I look at the mass, thickness of Samson next to him, and pose by pose and turning around, you could see it. You could see that, okay.
Size difference.
Size difference. Shape is wonderful, and, size difference was apparent. So did Andrew improve in size that much? Chris Aceto said, 5 pounds more. And Chris Aceto did mention that he would still want to Andrew bigger. Andrew needs to be bigger for that height to be, considered
I
big
think
enough.
before I remembered listening to Chris and them talk on one of the podcasts, and Andrews only came out twice and had like formal physical training with Chris Lewis for 6 weeks twice. This time around, he's going to spend the last like 10 weeks there, whatever it is. So they're going to put him through the ringer. So hopefully they expect him to be tighter and a little bit bigger, which he's going to need at the Olympia. Yeah. Standing next to someone, Samson's similar height. He might be a little taller, but he's going to need those things, especially when you have Derek and Hadi, the condition they get in, and Nick, the condition he gets in. He's going to have to be crazy peeled. Both of them. Same with Samson.
Can Hunter be in the top 6, Milos?
Possibly, but, listen, you just mentioned Andrew and Samson, Derek and Hadi, and then Nick Walker, right? And then there's Brandon Curry that we don't know.
Big Ramy, we don't know.
Big Ramy, we don't know. And Regan, we don't know. Let's speak about this for a second. I was talking to Nathan Deasha today, right? Seeing him, and he claims he's the biggest he's ever been and leanest he's ever been. And he can't wait to step on the stage and compete because he's 9-time champion, like you said.
Yeah, I think he's got more wins than any. Maybe Brandon might have more.
Yeah, but he's working with some coach for the first time and improved back. I guess you've seen Regan's post of doing a back, pull downs, and then he posed the same one. And then Dennis was so impressed. So I actually he looked impressive. But then Dennis asked Nathan, pose by pose, him against Regan, front of biceps, lat spreader. And pretty much Nathan see him beating Regan in every pose. And then he asked me the same question, and I seen Regan beat him in every pose. And then if you're really analytical, and I explained this, they're both hashtag bodybuilders. I love the shape, I love the structure, everything. And Regan still has, for me, the best aesthetics in bodybuilding. So if he comes with enough muscle and slice and dice, he's going to beat Nathan's shape. I mean, I'm sorry. This is how I see it, right?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there in person. Mm-hmm. So I never make predictions because they're both really good. Yeah. And it all depends on who shows up that day.
Yeah. It's going to be actually, after the Arnold Classic, this is going to be the toughest show of the year. Good Vito is coming, Nathan Regan. I think Carlos Jr., they're mentioning that he's going, yeah. Then this
Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman, then that Vlad Sukarechko, then French guy Tio that made it to Olympia. Yeah. He won the show last year. I mean, this is already eight guys that's going to be fighting for the title, So it's going to be the hardest show of the year.
For sure.
Yeah, somebody mentioned, Regan, you're not competing in U.S., you're going there like looking for the weaker shows and stuff like that. I said, Jesus Christ.
You know why Regan picked that show? Because it's where Yamamoto is.
Yamamoto, that was a strategy of,
for a year ago.
When we looked how many shows do we think that Regan could have possibly won?
Of course.
If he entered. He didn't. And now he's going to go against the best Nathan ever. It's going to go against this, good Vito guy.
I think Nathan and Regan could have won several of the shows in the United States. Yes. Several. Now, that's not taken away from anyone, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when they, it's an international show and nobody's local there. Even Nathan. Yeah. Nathan's a 2-hour flight away. Yeah. Nobody's local. It's a foreign country, and it's kind of like the best man will win.
Are you disappointed you're not going, or?
I don't even know if I'm going or not going because
You want to go?
Regan was asking me last time. I said, well, if you are going to
hurry up, go. When is it? How many weeks away?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to Romania tomorrow, and I'm just going to stay in Europe.
What do you think about Carlos Thomas Jr.?
I'll tell you this, okay, and. They tell me, Milos, you're always too harsh, be nice, be honest. So I love the guy. I love his physique. He's such a potential. But you tell me, is this the condition you showed up as your pro debut? You have only that one chance to leave first impression. You competed year and a half ago at the Nationals. This is a big, statement that you're trying to make. You didn't do the New York and Chicago and Tampa and all these shows. You want to show up in the hottest show of the so far. Next to
he got third to it.
He got
like
third.
Some great guys, but I thought his condition was okay, man. I mean, remember he's dealing with a lot of adversity with the stomach. He's got colitis and.
I didn't know that. If he does have that issue, but again, if I would be in his corner, I would say, like, look, you have enough muscle mass, like Big Ramy back in the day.
I just don't know if he's so big. It's hard to gather the detail. He might be. I feel like he's like. You remember how Hassan was so big?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, he just needs to get, and then he figured out the combination, but he wasn't so big when he figured the combination, right?
Yeah. So, would you sacrifice a little bit of size?
He can sacrifice a little size.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it would be much better for Carlos Jr. if he went down.
Well, maybe that's a plan for Italy,
Maybe, yeah. And listen, he might show up looking crazy. But
so there's Italy, and then the week after Spain.
Spain, yeah. And then a couple of weeks later.
2 weeks later, there's a show in France.
Yeah. So Nathan said he's doing just these two, regardless. And
it's a short trip for him too, and they have direct flights because he lives in Liverpool. They have a direct flight to Milan, then he can fly home for the week, and then he can fly directly to Alicante. It's only an hour and a half flight for him, so he can fly in and do both shows. I mean, might as well if it's such a short trip.
Yeah,
we'll just spend 2 weeks over in Europe, and Regan will do both shows.
Yeah.
Regan, he's always liked doing shows all over the world, different places. He's done shows in Asia and South America. He turned pro in Brazil, South America, and all over Europe. He likes traveling and competing.
Yeah, but hold on. Somehow, now I remember that Jay never answered that guest posing appearance on a Sunday. What's happening in Romania?
I did a seminar on Friday with Neil Hill. Saturday, I'm giving awards.
No, Saturday's an appearance.
Okay, and
at the Wings of Strength
Sunday's
booth.
the awards.
And Sunday's the show and the awards.
So being peeled like that, please tell me. Okay, explain to me, why would you not strip? Everybody wants it.
Because I don't, it's everyone else's shine, not mine. I mean, I didn't diet like these guys did. I mean...
so you don't want to be on the same stage? With
no. I mean, there's going to be some great talent on this stage. I know it's a Masters show, and everyone kind of second guessed.
There's guys in this show that won open shows this year.
I know. But listen,
I mean, Hidetada's going from here too.
Yes, I know. I've seen his.
You should have flown over for it.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
last time I was in Romania, I was painting him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was, how many years ago was that?
2006, yeah. 2006.
You know what I'm going to do after the show? I'm renting a car, and I'm just going to start driving.
Yeah.
I got my international driver's license today.
You did?
Yep.
Yeah. Not that like you needed.
No,
you could have, yeah. I had
I want to go, so right in the middle, in between Cluj and Bucharest, there's the most windy road in the world, right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like this, and so I want to go drive it. So I rented a little mini car.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, because roads are not like here.
That's okay.
So it's going to be a bumpy road. But still,
I used to live overseas, I know.
Yeah. Are you going to, show the world, Jay Cutler, that we all want to see?
Not yet.
Listen. He charges a lot to guest pose. You gonna put up the money?
I know. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Promoter should, pay more. But
if Milos gives you $10,000, will you guest pose?
Yeah.
It's not about the money. I mean, I'm going there. The Olympia invited me to come, and I'm honored, to be honest, because remember, I was 1 year the ambassador to the Olympia,
2019.
And
he gave me the tickets that year.
I never thought, I've achieved greatness in this business, but I never thought I would be as active and voluntarily doing what I do right now, because I didn't believe that the legacy would continue, because I felt like, I wasn't sure with social media, who would have thought, being a magazine guy, we would have this ability to be as well known. I mean, everywhere I go, someone stops me, everywhere.
Of course.
Every day I'm out and about when I travel, airports, hotels, restaurants. I'm blessed to be able to do what I do and love what I do. And I want to go there. I can't wait to walk backstage and shake the hands of all these competitors, because when they announced all these people that were chosen to be on stage, the people that reached out to me, I never imagined. It made people's lives, because they now have another opportunity to stand on what they consider the biggest stage that they'll ever stand on. Some never even got to the original Olympia stage, right?
Yeah, many.
So I'm just blessed to be there. I'm not trying to, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. If the crowd's crazy and, I want to pull the shirt off and hit a front double bicep, but I'm not getting up there and pulling the pants down and doing the whole bit and posing trunks and that kind of stuff.
How you rolled your shorts over there, and then Regan kind of, rolled it, and then he realized maybe it's a bad idea. Let me put it down.
No.
You look great in front of Regan Grimes that is going to compete in 2 weeks.
Like I said, the job is not done.
Okay, just don't do the stomp and pull your hamstring again.
I know. My hamstring's better. I'm training legs hard again, so it's good.
He's up to 1.5 plates on the
scale. I'm speaking for the fans. We would all want to see you pose and hit like a few more.
We started at the Fit Expo.
Yeah, no, but there was 3 poses.
It's funny. He messaged me right away. Why did he only do 3 poses? Yeah. Why did he do more? Come on, what?
I mean, the Jay Cutler pose, side chest pose, like anything with the arms up.
It wasn't.
I can go through my Jay Cutler file.
I'm trying to think.
You should hit this.
He has more pictures of you than you have of yourself.
I'm going to tell you, the situation at the Fit Expo was awkward because I didn't realize what was happening, which he knew about. So for me, I knew Regan was going to call me out, but it was kind of like, I didn't realize that Regan was getting up there giving an award and he was going to post down with the winner.
I didn't know that either.
I thought it was just going to be like, they were going to kind of like do some sort of a skit, right? Yeah. So it was kind of like sudden, and I pulled my shirt off kind of prematurely.
This is that guest posing, walking all these poses.
Yeah.
All these poses,
Milos sends me like 10 pictures of you a week.
I know. Well, he has the biggest file. You might have the biggest files in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Not only the best journals.
You know what? I couldn't imagine if you went down to the Olympia headquarters and actually got to go in their room that has all the history from the 1960s on. All the photos, all the videos.
I need to go down there and check out some of the stuff.
I know. I thought about that. They have a special room.
We had some great photo shoots, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm bummed that there is a few photo shoots. I've never seen the pictures.
Did you shoot at Metrics a lot? Club Metrics?
Yeah.
Those were some of the best, right? Didn't you feel like the man when you were walking into that shoot being like, oh my gosh, these are going to be Flex Magazine pictures?
That's Chris Lund. He was shooting there before he came to my gym in 97. After Night of Champions, I felt so good. That's my Instagram profile picture. That's Chris Lund shot at Club Metrics. When you feel you're in shape and you have a photographer like this, you just can't wait to do anything, stupid things.
I
right?
felt that light in that mirror right at that doorway of Club Metrics was like.
Yeah. But listen, in my gym, the place, you look the craziest. Yeah, I can't find those pictures. And pisses me off. Maybe the weeder deleted somehow my files. That was the best you ever look. It was just like shocking. Yeah, that was 2006. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Dave and I were talking about that this morning. I said, I weighed 273 at that show. So I said, what I weigh, Dave? He's like 270. I said, impossible. I was like 2 weeks out. No way I was I was like 282 or something.
You looked every pound of it, man.
Yeah, that's when I knew like 06, like that was the build up to like, fuck, I'm going to do this, Yeah. I knew it was my time.
Yeah.
Even though Ronnie looked great,
Few people would still say, no, he didn't. And then he thinks he should have beat you in Romania.
Did you think I had a chance when I came to your gym and Ronnie was there just before me?
Yeah, 100%. It was like, oh, shit, that's it. It's happening right now. Because even before, I told you, 2001, I saw you winning, And now the guy sends me all those pictures. Yes, Ronnie still beat you from a back. Just like here, Hunter beat Andrew from a back. He didn't beat him in a show. Considering everything. So 2001, I think, especially now that you said you're 6 points ahead, somehow you lose by 3 points. Oh, well, it could happen. Maybe it was like too early, right? I mean, Ronnie won 98, 99, 2000. And this is 2001, young Jay that plays just 8 year before and 15 on 99, right? nobody would expect in a million years. And maybe after the prejudging, they're going to say, well, let's reconsider this. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking back now, Milos, like I was on top of the world then, man. Like I was living in California. I was fairly new there. 9/11 just happened, and 6 weeks later was the Olympia or something, and it was like we were in fear of the show was going to be canceled because Vegas was on like high alert for terrorist attacks. And I was at Mandalay Bay then, and I remember thinking, I'm just going for broke. Like we may or may not have a show. And I remember I was riding my motorcycle and driving my vet with the top down, training at the gym, that no one bothered me. I wasn't guest posing every week. I had a small mail order business. I was, I signed a good contract with ISS at the time. Yeah. And I financially was really getting my life together. I was 27 years old or whatever. And it was like, man. And I went there and got second in the world and like unexpected. And now all of a sudden I was like the biggest thing. And like,
you have a look, and you're a very likable guy, very sellable guy in super marketing.
But it was awesome. It was that was like, I think back now and I'm like, man, I can get that feeling I felt for a slight second. And I just, those are good memories,
Yeah,
but it goes to prove, like, I was 27, 28, 29. Like, are those the peak years? Like, if you're not getting stuff rolling by then, is it too late to really capitalize a lengthy career where, you have some of these guys like a Samson or Andrew Jack who were in their late 30s, right? Yeah. How long can the ride last?
Now is the time not to risk anything.
I mean, but like if you were 40, I'm just going to fast forward them a couple years. I don't know what. Yeah. I think they're like 38, right?
Samson's 37.
Okay. So
36,
so let's just say you get to 40. I knew at 40, okay, I did this long enough. I did it from...
Yeah, but you started since 18, you were a teenager.
18,
right?
Yes. So I was like, you know what? I want to move forward and do things in my life, because you turn around and here I am, 50. Yeah. Okay. 10 years went by like that. And now you're going to tell me, wait till you get to 60. Right?
You're not 60 yet, though.
No, but almost. Listen, I said that many times, and people are going to say, Milos, you always repeat yourself. But my father, said this, and that bothered me for, I was bothered when he said this. I'm listening. I was 26 years old. I fall asleep and wake up 52. Right. And I know the message that he was saying, like how time fly. But, when you're younger, you don't want to hear this kind of things. And then exactly when it happened to me, I said, like, Jesus Christ, I was 20-something, right? And where did the time go? I wake up 52. So for all the 20-somethings, slow down. You don't realize, slow down, enjoy the moment, take every day to the fullest.
Unfortunately, I can tell you, being who I was I rushed 27 to 37. I was like, okay, speed me up, get me to the next Olympia. Speed me up, get me to the next Arnold Classic. It was always like, I can't get there fast enough. Now it's like, maybe take me back,
But here, 2001, you play second, right? 2002, you did the Arnold Classic, you won Arnold Classic. But then, when you think about it, you were there. But 2002, you didn't do the Olympia. 2003, you looked crazy at Ironman and Arnold Classic, but then you didn't win the Olympia. Ronnie looked fucking crazy. Then 2004, you didn't win. 2005, you didn't win. A lot of people would, kind of give up right there. I said, Jesus, and you're still competing. You didn't. Every time you were going into the show, you actually went to win.
Yeah, 33, I won my first, 33 years old. And I signed a big contract, 5 years,
What was it?
Muscle Tech.
Yeah, but how much?
I'm not going to say. It was a lot. And then, by that time, I was walked away from the deal and I started doing my own thing. And by the time the career was over.
It's probably the biggest contract in history. Yeah?
For sure.
For sure.
It's not close.
It's not close. Oh, my God.
I know I've heard other people say no, it's not close.
Hey, he earned it. Jesus. Yeah.
Nothing but great things to say.
Jay Cutler Nutrition paying you well enough?
Yeah.
They're broke. You know this, when you own your own company, you don't take any money. It just gets reinvested. That's why we're all broke. We don't have Milos money. We don't have a UFC pass.
Just please, okay, listen to me. Please pose on the stage. Hit your best poses.
We'll get there. I just maybe
few sequences.
I want you to be present. So I'm not going to.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? When we land in Romania, I'm blocking him for 3 days.
So what?
Is Jay posing yet? Is he posing yet?
I saw your Instagram and you had these credentials. I figured you'd still be wearing it under your shirt.
I was gonna wear it.
That's like a rapper chain. Just wear it everywhere.
Listen,
He'll be at Walmart. Hey man, you got the UFC? Yeah.
Are you gonna put like bling bling around the
You know what? I wish you loved jewelry because we'd reach out to a jeweler. We'll call Happy or someone. We're gonna have him make you a pennant that's a UFC credential, and you can wear it over top.
Flex Lewis is sending me the picture of Logan, the brothers, Logan and Jake. Paul. Paul had some Pokemon.
He has a Pokemon.
Whatever, $5 million thing and all this stuff. And I said, Flex, you think I would trade my UFC credentials for that shit?
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Because for $5 million, you could buy one.
No, for $5 million, I wouldn't. You're missing a point. Money doesn't represent what this represents to me. I have access to the UFC, and I have $5 million. Fuck $5 million.
But hold on. You had access before that.
Yeah, not like this. Not like this,
Does that mean you can get us into a fight?
No,
it
means it puts a little more pressure on us because
he's famous now.
No, where's his Olympia credentials?
Oh. Hey, I'm putting the camera on you. Where did you sit last year?
Yeah, I sit in the. Let me tell you this. I sit in his prejudging seat, which was best seat in the house. Thank you so much.
And who handed it to you?
Thank you. But you didn't do it right away. You first, wait. You put me there on the side and stuff like that.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Did you get to sit in the front row?
Finally.
I have a great seat for you this year.
Okay,
it's in the second rafter in the corner.
But listen, so for the finals, I was there with everybody, with Deasha Jackson and there was Rolly Winkler and all this stuff, right? But you can't really see. I mean, when you are that far, you can't see the detail. Angle is not there.
Do you see this right now? This is like a silent complaint. I'm 59. I can't see. Can I sit in the front?
Listen,
listen, man. He's got a UFC pass.
He's going to talk about this all year, so I'm going to do what I can to pull some strings for you this year.
We'll make sure you're not in the fourth.
This is going to feed our podcast for the next from November to whenever the next Olympia is. I don't know when it is.
You know when you're going to get your tickets.
Hey, hold on a second.
Hold on. After you sit in your seat, I'll text you. Oh, by the way, you want to move?
Hunter and Dana. They had my name printed on the seat when I went there. Like I was like, oh yeah. So
did they spell it right?
I expect nothing less. First row at the Olympia.
But listen. Can either one of them say your name correctly?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they do actually. Seriously.
So hopefully one day, since we make sure you're good at the Olympia, maybe one day we'll be cool enough to go see.
Okay, say my last name.
Sarcev.
The
Milos Sarcev. Sarcev. Milos Sarcev.
Flex tricked me into it. When we did Flex Lewis, we did the podcast and he said my name wrong, right? And then I said, well, you can't even pronounce my name, and if you do, I'll give you $100. And then he pulls it and he said it correctly. I have to give him $100.
Did you give him $100?
Yeah, I did him on the podcast. So he wanted to give me back. I said, no, you earned it, but you tricked me. So
that's kind of great. I like that.
I mean, even though sometimes you say to other people Milos, right?
No,
Milos.
You still say Milos. Okay.
I say Milos.
I love it.
Milos.
You know where I might go next week?
Serbia? No.
I might. I'm renting a car. I'm just going to drive everywhere.
Okay. Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah.
If I can. Yeah. I'll go check it out. I'll take a picture of the Milos homeland and I'll post a picture.
There's my highway.
You have your own highway?
Yeah.
It's named after you?
Yeah.
Then send me the address.
Well, it's not really after me, but after...
Oh, now the truth comes out.
After Milos. There is a famous Milos is in Serbian history, and, But I'm going to claim it.
Why didn't you just keep the lie going? And then I would have went and found it. Oh, my God, I found Milos's street.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a picture.
Milos Veliki. It's
how far is it from Cluj?
It's in Belgrade. I don't know how far.
Yeah, I'm just renting a car for 3 days. I'm just going to drive everywhere. Yeah. I got a little mini car with 2 seats.
A stick shift?
Of course.
Stick shift?
Absolutely. I don't think you can get anything else there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but last
You know, I've
time
noticed
I
when I
was
started looking at rental cars, every one of them says no AC, no AC.
Hey.
I'm like, it's 95 degrees there. What do you mean no AC?
now I'm going to tell you my big secret, right? I still drive the automatic car with the 2 feet. I refuse not to use my left foot.
Why?
Why would I not use? Just because everybody does it with the right? Who cares? I do it.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, left, right, left, right, left, right. Otherwise my left leg is going to go dead. What are you supposed to just keep it there for like whatever
My leg's
duration?
never gone dead.
Yeah, well, I don't play by rules.
My mom did that too.
I use.
That drives me nuts because then people push it too fast. Because when they're both here, sometimes it's not up completely and you push it. You can tell when someone's...
I had a couple of, hiccups here and there, especially when I was in Serbia. I rented a car and the guy was next to me. And there was bad... car didn't function properly, that's why. But I made a fool out of myself.
The last time I went to St. Martin, that was the last time I rented a standard. And I hadn't driven one since high school.
Did you look at the airplanes coming down? That beach.
Oh yeah, I have a picture of it.
Yeah, I was in that hotel. I
Yeah.
purposely stayed there, and I went on the beach. I mean,
I went and parked on the beach and went and sat there.
You feel like you can touch it.
Yeah, and then you hold it, and then when they take off, and you
Yeah,
see people blowing away.
They're blown away. Yeah.
So they
Some people are
right
stupid.
before we got there, they didn't allow people to hang on the fence anymore. Apparently, like within the month before we got there, someone was holding and they fell and hit their head and died.
Oh shit!
They hit their head on the ground because it's. I don't know if you've ever seen it. In St. Martin, the runway comes right. The beach is here and the runway's here, so the 747s come in.
Yeah.
And they're probably within 100 feet above you. But when the planes take off, they come and turn and they push on it, and all the whatever comes
jet
through,
fuel,
jet fuel and everything, and people hang on and
It
shit's
blows you
blowing
like
everywhere.
50 feet away.
Yeah, you'll see people getting blown away. Well, we wanted to go see it, so I went and had lunch at the restaurant right next to it, just so I could do that. And I took a picture on my Instagram of the.
I was at that restaurant too.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. You'd like it.
Yeah.
It's just weird because half the country's French and the other half is Dutch.
Yeah.
And on one side they use euros, the other side
And they speak
don't.
like 5 languages.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Aruba too.
Yeah, Aruba. Yeah, they speak. Well,
anyway,
we're out.
You guys are flying tomorrow. Good flight.
Off to Romania.
Yeah, make sure you bring your posing trunks.
We thank you for coming on. We'll keep you updated, and we can't wait to have you back.
12 more hours. Milos is getting.
What are we at? What's the next show we're reviewing? Italy or
might be. Yeah,
well, we'll be reviewing all those.
The next show will be Italy and
but
Spain.
You're going to be back here, right? So we're not going to be back. If I go, we're not going to be back until after Spain.
So after Spain, we'll review both of them because we'll launch this one. I'm sure they'll see it on the Instagram. We filmed Nick Walker. We're just going to launch that while we're overseas. And then when we come back, I think Jay and I are going to try to do a podcast.
Nick looked crazy today.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And a massive take round and detailed. And I was actually watching, he was doing a pec deck. And the biceps was. I've never seen biceps like this in arms. They're completely straight.
Yeah.
I mean, this was most freaky. And of course, he doesn't have anything in it. It's just like that hard-earned muscle. But he's peaking with the arms straight. You tell me, how is this possible? It's like
genetics.
24-inch arms, dude.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Okay.
We're out.
Yep.